This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen. Today is Thursday, the 21st of March, 2019. This is a twice weekly training session that I offer to both the subscribers to the Clear Lines indicator, as well as those of you that have interest in learning more about Clear Lines. This session is recorded and will be posted to the equity-alerts.com YouTube page, which I will show you where you can find that at the end of the show. Again, this broadcast is every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern. You can use the same link every time to log in and listen in and ask your questions. If you have additional questions outside of this webinar, you're welcome to email me at kip@equity-alerts.com. You're welcome to call me or send me a text message at 972-841-8886. If you have specific questions for me today, feel free to go ahead and submit those now through the GoToMeeting player. I do want to go through and just kind of give a quick overview of the Clear Lines and talk about the platform that we run Clear Lines on, which is Medved Trader. And I'll give you a quick history about myself and what I'm doing. So again, my name is Kipp Cohen, and I am the creator of Clear Lines. Clear Lines were developed pretty much in response to the news of the closing of WiseTrade. I have a company called Clear Trading Systems that I have two partners in that company. One is a software developer. The other is a trader slash developer of indicators and trading strategies. And so that company was started basically to build and create different trading indicators. Our initial product is the Clear Lines, which are based off of the WiseTrade red and green lines. It's not the same exact algorithm because I don't own that algorithm. I did try to purchase it, but they would not sell it. So we got this as close as we could possibly do it without crossing any lines, so to speak. My programmer was a former WiseTrade employee who worked on the algorithm, so we knew what to do to make it as close as we could without infringing on any patents or anything else that would violate any laws. So the Clear Lines are a buying and selling momentum-based indicator using price, volume, tick data. The couple noticeable differences are they're not quite as smooth as the old WiseTrade lines, and that has to do with actually the charting package that we're using through Medved that does not have the same smoothing feature that WiseTrade had. Something that I added in that WiseTrade did not have, you'll notice some up and down arrows on the charts. Those are indications of when the red and green lines cross over and actually lock in at the end of or beginning of a new interval. We partnered with Medved for several reasons. Medved is the company that basically the delivery source of our indicator. It's the platform that our indicator runs on. We originally wanted to build out our own standalone application, but due to time constraints as well as financial constraints, our best option was to write the indicator for a third-party platform. And Medved was kind of the perfect marriage for us because they're, first of all, a small company. The owners were very willing to work with us and help us. They were already integrated with Ally Invest, where a lot of the existing WiseTrade customers already had accounts. They also had a special, or still have a special deal with Ally to waive their platform fee for any Ally customers, Ally Invest customers, which basically saves a lot of our clients about $19.99 a month. And the biggest thing for us was the finding out the power of the combination of using Medved with Clearlines, because of the fact that Medved was such a great trading platform with so many bells and whistles. We found that this was a great partnership, and they have been extremely responsive to our needs. I know the only complaint I've ever gotten is that they don't offer phone support, but they are very quick to respond to emails, and that's their main level of support. One second. And anyway, they are very quick to respond to emails. And plus, I provide phone support for my customers. So if there's something that you need help with the Medved platform, I can help you with that over the phone. I can remote in and assist you. The guys that created Medved, by the way, they have a lot of experience in the trading world. They had developed a platform called Quote Tracker. They had a platform called Quote Tracker, and I believe that platform was acquired by, it was either E-Trade or Ameritrade. I can't remember. I think it was Ameritrade several years back. So the relationship with them has been very good. Again, Medved's been very responsive to our needs. They've done some enhancements for us and our customers. And a couple of you are not able. Oh, yeah. Make sure. Hold on. Okay. I have a couple people with audio issues. Anyways, so that's pretty much kind of why we've have this relationship with them. There was a question from Greg, says, do you plan on adding any other platforms? Greg, initially I was all gung ho about building a standalone program. And after having extensive conversations with my developer, I did come to the at least determination for now that it doesn't make sense to build a separate application for many reasons. The biggest is there's a huge, not just financial cost, but time cost. It's going to take 6 to 12 months to develop, and probably in excess of $250,000 to build out not just the software, but the infrastructure to run it. And we have a very good platform that we run on right now that works very well. And so at this point, it just doesn't make sense. The cost to build out a scanning tool, same thing, 6 to 12 months. Hardware, software is going to be at least $250,000. So for the time being, it just financially doesn't make sense. Now, down the road at some point, if everything's going well and I've grown this thing and it makes sense, I will do what I can to develop that. But for right now, it's not in the cards. We have oh, I got you. Okay. He says, I don't mean a separate application, but for instance, I've created a few simple indicators in Thinkorswim. I would guess that clear lines could be programmed in. Are you saying running clear lines on other platforms? Is that what you're inquiring about? Okay. It's possible. I would have to, I do, our intentions were next to offered on TradeStation, and we just, yeah, if I win the lottery. We have not had the time to place it out on TradeStation and set it up. But that is something we can do it with TradeStation because they have a marketplace. I don't think Ameritrade has a marketplace where we can market an indicator. I need to check with them and see if they have an ability for us to turn it on, turn it off like we can with Medved and have controls over the leasing of the indicator, then I would say it's something we could definitely look into. I just don't know. Do you know if Ameritrade has that? The Thinkorswim platform has a marketplace for indicators that people can lease or purchase? Okay, so there is a marketplace. Okay, well, I'll look into it. It may require us to have some additional web controls, but I definitely will look into it. I mean, I know that would be helpful for some of you guys that like that platform. So if I can do it, yeah, I'll definitely find out what is required. So anyway, so let's kind of delve into the platform, and then again, if you have any specific questions, I know I have a combination here. I have some of you that are first-time viewers of the application, and some of you that are my existing customers. What you're looking at right now is what's called a two-chart layout that I have created. So the Medved platform, just to let you know, is a modular platform. All the windows kind of break off. They can be moved around. It's a modular program platform. So you can build out from a single chart to 100 charts, depending on how much screen space you have, and you can add different windows. So I'm just going to show you real quick the opening initial layout that Medved gives you if you were just to go sign up and use their platform. This is the base layout. So you've got what's called a watch list or portfolio on the upper left window. Okay, that's this window. This is where you put different stocks in that you're going to follow every day. You have a news source on the left corner. On the upper middle, you have what's called a intraday chart, and you have different time levels you can change through, as well as you can select how far back you want to look, the number of intervals. Below that is what's called a historical chart. So that's going to be your daily, your weekly, your monthly. They even offer quarterly or annual charts. And the upper right corner, you have a level 2 and raw quote data, if you have access to level 2 quotes. And then the bottom right corner will be the Medved Trader dashboard. So you can open up different portfolios, you can create new portfolios, you can access the settings for the program and the chart settings. There are some additional tools that they offer. You can view your account information. If you can log into different trading accounts. There's an alert tool that you can set up alerts based on price, based on crossing moving averages. Check your news. There's an options risk analysis, which I've never used. Anyway, and there's a scanner, built-in scanner, and paint bar tools. So the platform is, you can make it as complex as you want or make it as simple. So for new users to the clear lines, we actually have a couple pre-built layouts in the layout library, the active trader and the swing trader layout. So this was just a couple of layouts that I built out for beginners that would give you 8 different time frames, similar to what you would have had on either the WiseTrade swing trade or active trade layout, so that you can view one stock on all 8 time frames. And then you can scroll through the watch list, whichever watch list you're viewing. And so you can quickly scan stocks, reviewing the overall trend very quickly, as well as the minute time frames. So like Google, look at that, strong month, strong week, strong day. Very strong trends on Google. That's an extreme, as George used to say, that's an extreme strength stock right there. But so you can, the old WiseTrade, you were limited to how many stocks you could load up. This one you can, I think you're limited, depending on the broker, to a couple hundred symbols. I've got the NASDAQ 100 here, but so I could scroll through 100 stocks pretty quickly and review the charts of those stocks with this platform. So that's another advantage that this system has over WiseTrade. The other biggest advantage is the fact that you can also overlay candlesticks. You can add other technical indicators to the charts. Like right here on my daily chart, I've got the average true range. I've got daily pivots. I don't think these have the daily pivots, but I have daily pivots. So let me go back to, I'm going to go back just because it's easier to look at, is my 2-chart layout. So I created the 2-chart layout just as a basic starter layout so that you have something very simplistic to look at with not a lot of, right chart is the historical day, week, and month. Left chart is your intraday, where you can jump through different minute intervals to view what's going on inside of the day, the minutes, different minute time frames. So depending on what time frame you're on, obviously you're going to see these red and green arrows. So the arrows will appear when the lines cross and lock into place, which is at when the interval closes. So if I'm on a 10-minute time frame, if the lines cross over and then that interval closes, then you'll see an arrow. So like this morning, we got an up arrow right at the open on Apple. That up arrow, which gave you a nice upward movement, remained all morning long up until 10 a.m., where it went sideways, and then you got a down arrow. Down arrow followed by an up, followed by another down. So it went into chop. That's why you see the back and forth. And then you got another up arrow, which followed another move up. You can go down. The further you go down in time, the more arrows you're going to get. Okay. Obviously, you go down to 1 minute, you're going to get a lot of noise. But even on the 5 minute, you got an up arrow this morning right out of the gate. You got a secondary up arrow. So that implies a bounce. You can see where the lines touched and bounced, followed by a third up arrow. So you had hold on 1 second, guys. Give me one moment here. Okay, sorry about that. So, again, the arrows give you a clear view of a crossover of the red and green lines and a confirmation. And as those arrows, as you see more, like you get these confirmations, these continuation moves, those are actually points where you could look for potential additions to position, adding. They are on both the daily, the historical charts, the day, week, and month, as well as the intraday charts. So here's a nice one. Back in January, on the weekly chart of Apple, you had an up arrow, January 22nd, and it's been up since. We actually got a secondary bounce just recently. So this would be a point to add if you were a position trader, an intermediate position trader. You could have added on this current weekly chart, especially if you look at the overall trend. You've got a month that just turned around, a weekly chart that's pretty solid, and bounce on the daily chart. So this would be, today would be the day to add into your Apple position, potentially, if you're already in it. So we use a combination of the clear lines, and then we also like to utilize candles for a number of reasons. Because the clear lines are buying and selling momentum, they're not technically price charts. There are points where the prices will move above or below the red and green lines. So if we utilize our candles, we can actually see where the price goes to. Also, if you are using Fibonacci levels, which we tend to do, we like to draw the first 15 minutes of the day to give us an idea of where the stock might be moving intraday. That first 15 minute typically gives you a pretty good idea of the day range. So let me show you something else. I can also blow up this one window, so that's all we see. So if you look at the first 15 minutes, you'll notice that this morning we had a breakout of the first 15 minute. And look, right here at the breakout point, you had a new arrow on the 3 minute. So let me circle this so you can see it more clearly. That was right here. There was a breakout and an up arrow. So that you could have utilized that as a potential long location. You had a consolidation at the 14140, which is the institutional Fibonacci level, followed by another arrow. So that could have been an add-on. You then got another arrow right here when it had a brief consolidation. It could have been another add-on. And then either you're out at the 200 when it goes into this range, you might have been out because you know what happens when it goes into range. Sometimes it does pull back, may have stopped you out. But then it broke the range again and gave another up arrow and went right up to the 2618 Fibonacci level. So by just using those two indicators, the clear lines and Fibonacci, that could have helped you to initiate the trade. You also had, in addition, you'll notice you broke out when it broke the first 15 minute, the 100 line. That was also, it's hard to see it, but R2, the daily pivot of R2. So this was a big point right here. When it broke this point, that was a big breakout. And then right here, when you've got R3 right here. So there was another big breakout through another daily pivot point and the break of a Fibonacci level with a confirmation of a green up arrow. And what did it do? It went right to the 2618 and reversed, and you got your down arrow, which could have been your exit point or your clue to move your stop at least up below this fib level, depending on your risk tolerance, because everybody trades a little differently. I'm not going to tell you how to trade. You have to, I'll give you some, helpful hints, but, there's a lot of different ways to trade, and you have to figure out what works best for you. But just by following today, if you were watching Apple and you were watching the fib levels and you were watching the clear lines, you had a pretty good move up this morning and a pretty good move up this afternoon. Okay. And that's following a 3-minute time frame. So again, depending on what time frame you personally like to follow, will dictate what you'll see in the charts. If you follow an 8-minute, for instance, some people like the 8 because it's a Fibonacci number. Hold on one second. You also had that up arrow this morning on the 8-minute, and you didn't get a reversal arrow until the 200 when it went up and came down back below the 200. And then again, right here, it broke above the 200, gave you an up arrow, and then broke out. So you can adjust your time frames depending upon what you're looking for in the charts. Different time frames are going to give you different things that you'll see. That's a 6-minute, or you could have used a 5-minute, or 13-minute is a Fibonacci number. That's one that we used to use quite a bit. Actually, 13 also had a pretty nice move up. But intraday, the three typically gives you a lot of pretty good signals. Okay, at this point, do I have any questions about the clear lines or the platform? So one of the other great features about the Medved platform is it does integrate with a lot of different brokers. So you can trade directly from the software into a number of different accounts, depending on who your broker is. Okay. They integrate with TD Ameritrade, with Interactive Brokers, with Ally Invest, with E-Trade, with a couple other brokers, a couple smaller ones. If you're in Canada, they have Quest Trade that they're integrated with. And it gives you the ability to actually trade directly on the chart. You can right click and click the buy or sell button. You can go to trading, click the buy or sell button. You can create a new trade ticket and trade from a trade ticket, create a buy or sell from a trade ticket. You can add hotkeys to the quick access toolbar. And I'm only going to show this. This is strictly as an example of how to. This is not a buy, sell, or hold recommendation. I'm just showing you how to trade from a chart. If you wanted to, let's say, short Apple right here, maybe you saw a double top and you wanted to sell it, so you can select the sell button, and then so when I click this, so I have my order type selected first. All right, and the broker, depending on what order types my broker allows, there are multiple orders. Then I click the sell button. I hit it to set it onto the chart, and then I hit it. Oops. Let's try that again. Why is it telling me insufficient buying power? Hold on. Oh. Hold on. There we go. Wrong account. So so you can put your order on, place the order on the chart, and then you'll notice your P&L for the trade, and then you can set your stop loss, or you can utilize a trailing stop. So Jerry wants to know, can you show us how to use the trailing stop? Sure. So you actually you can either do trailing stop. Actually, this does trailing stop dollar. So if I want to set a trailing stop, I select that order type. It would be a buy because I'm going to be buying. Okay, why did it just do that? Hold on. That was weird. Hold on, let's try that again. Oh, I bet I know why it just did that. Hold on a second. I think there's a glitch here. I don't know why it put in a $2 million price. So if I want to put in by 25 cents, okay, there we go. It had to do with the amount. So I can pick how much I want to trail by. Let's say I want to trail by a quarter, okay? So you'll notice I'm already up $95. It tells me if it hits the trailing stop right now, how much I'm going to make or lose. This is really cool. This is a new feature. It tells me how much I'm going to make or lose, okay, based on how big the trailing stop is. So I haven't submitted the order yet. I need to hit the check button. So now I've got my trailing stop placed, and I'm currently up, as you can see by the capsule here, $150. And right now, if the trail comes down, bounces up, I'm going to make no less than now $40, right? Because it goes one way, not the other. So I'm guaranteed to make $40 no matter what. Remember, trailing stops move one way, not the other. So Mel says, you said buying and selling momentum, so that's pressure charts, correct? Like WiseTrade, same algorithm. It is not the same algorithm because I don't own that algorithm, but it is a similar, there are some similarities to the old WiseTrade algorithm or the WiseTrade charts. Yes, we did everything in our power to make it as close as we could without owning the algorithm and without violating any copyright or anything else. I don't know if whatever. I mean, technically, WiseTrade's out of business, but Ally Invest does own the property. So, there are some. I didn't want to violate anything, any laws, or so I'll tell you this much, Mel. My customers that are using it find my clear lines running on the Medved to be better than the old WiseTrade. Okay. But yes, it's buying and selling momentum, buying and selling pressure, whatever you want to call it, but it is not the same algorithm. Okay, so because I don't own the algorithm. So if I wanted to change this order and drop the trailing stop, I can cancel that order. If I want to switch it to a bracket order, I can do a bracket. The great thing about a bracket order is that I can pick where I want. So if I want to set my limit down at R3, or I think it's going to the 200 or somewhere in between, I can set it in between the two, and then I can pick where I want to set the stop. So the Medved system tells me how much my gain is going to be or loss depending on where I set my stop. So if I set my stop right now, I'm going to make at least 190 bucks, right? I'm up 310, but I'm going to guarantee myself 190. And if it gets to my target, I'm going to make $500. All right, so I'm going to set my bracket here. I can also manually trail my bracket. I can move the stop side of the bracket down as it moves into profit to maximize. So now I'm going to make 255. Oops, I might get stopped out. Oh, I just got stopped out. Okay. So you can kind of manually trail it. You can trail it automatically with a trailing stop. You can use a bracket order. There's a number of different ways you can utilize that. And that's the great thing about this platform is that it allows you to do that. You could never do that on WiseTrade. You could not chart trade. You were limited to basically trading either through your broker, or if you were using WiseTrade's trade manager, you were very limited on the order types. So and then you'll notice that it shows me where my orders were down here. It shows that I sold it for $195.85 and I bought it for $195.35. So I picked up 50 cents on that move that I wasn't really trying to make money on. But by accident, I basically make money. Thank you, Bruce. That was a good trade, wasn't it? It was a double top. Question from Chris: how do I set up the order types at the top of the charts? My charts didn't start up the same this morning. And one question, Kipp: can I trade from one account and use streaming data from another? Okay, so first of all, the answer to the first question is if you put your mouse over the order types, you'll see different types of orders that are available. Whatever ones are checked are the ones that you will have showing on there. I can add stop limit. I can add market on close. I just don't utilize those, so I remove them. But depending on which account you're trading out of, you're going to see different orders. So if I go to an Ally account, okay, or if I go to a TD Ameritrade account, if I go to my TD Ameritrade account, I'm going to see different order types here. It's all dependent, or if I go to, I don't know if it'll show, yeah, if I go to Interactive Brokers, there's going to be different order types based on whatever account you're trading out of, okay? You will see different order types. I hope that makes sense. So STP is just a stop loss. That's just a stop loss. That's a standard stop. So market limit stop, trailing stop, and bracket is what I have set. All right, so to answer the second part of your question was, can I trade from one account and use streaming data from a different one? Yes. So you can stream from TD Ameritrade and trade. You can stream from any account, from a third-party data feed. It doesn't matter. Data and brokers are two different components, and that's why if you'll notice under the settings, they fall under two different sections. There's data sources. These are places that you can get quotes from, and you can trade from, and then you can trade from a number of different accounts, any of these accounts that you see listed. So you can trade from TD Ameritrade and get quotes from Ally, or you can trade from Ally and get quotes from TD. It doesn't really matter. Quotes, you typically want to use one source. So my Medved is strictly attached to my TD Ameritrade quotes because there are a number of reasons. The biggest reason is because they give me futures that I can't get from Ally. So you'll notice at the top of my chart, I have in my watch list, I have Dow futures, S&P, NASDAQ, crude oil, nat gas, gold, silver, and copper. So I want to use Ameritrade for that specific reason. Then as far as trading, you just have to pick on the chart whichever account you want to trade out of. So you don't set data feed on a chart, you set data feed on a watch list or portfolio. So the watch list or portfolio is where the data comes from to power the charts, right? Indexes, watch list, and then you pick the account you want to trade out of from the chart, whichever account I want to trade out of. Hopefully that's all clear. Chakoti want to know, can we paper trade it and how? So unfortunately, there are only two ways you can paper trade. One is if you have currently a MB trading Ally account. It's an old original MB trading account that you already had built, or you already had access to paper trade. So like you'll notice right here, this account, this account is a demo Ally paper trade account. This is not. That is a different, okay? That's a real account. This is a paper. These three are demo accounts. It has a Z in front of it. If you have an old Ally MB trading, it has to be the old MB trading account, and you already had a paper trade account, then you can do that. So TD Ameritrade only offers paper trading through their Thinkorswim platform. The Thinkorswim platform does have paper trading, but that does not integrate with Medved, unfortunately. The only other broker that I know of that offers a demo account that you can use with Medved is Interactive Brokers. You can open up an Interactive Brokers demo account. It's free to do, okay? You have to open their platform. Hold on, because I don't remember my simulated account information. Hold on, because it's been a while since I've used it. Interactive. Okay. I don't even know if this is still active. So it's still active. Okay. So you first have to open up their platform. There are some settings, so it's not real easy. I'll have to get you the settings from Medved. They have it on their website or somewhere. I have a link for it. I have to get the link. So you have to open up. Let me show you the interactive account. It is a delayed account. Okay, it's a simulated delayed data account. So once that account is open, then I can go and log into that account from here, Interactive Brokers. Okay. And I should be able to make a trade. Let's see if it works, because I've had some issues. Let's see if it'll put the trade in. So it actually did work. It shorted it. Okay, so it is working. So it put in the trade. That's the only way you can currently paper trade. Oh, that's weird. It did it. I thought I only did 500 shares, yet it put me in 1,000. Okay. And then what you're going to see here is probably going to be a little delayed. But what it will allow you to do is, for those that want to be able to practice, you can utilize this platform for practicing. Okay. If you just want to get comfortable with using placing orders on the Medved platform, you can use the interactive. You just have to go to their website. Hold on. I think you just have to go to interactivebrokers.com. And then right here where it says free trial, you start your free trial, download the platform, and then and all you need is your email. You don't even have to put a bunch of information. Hold on a second. So if you want to do that, Chakoti, I'm happy to help you. It's a little pain in the butt, but I can help you. Like I said, there are I have to see where they've got this posted. Let me see if they've got it here. Interactive Brokers. Setting it up. I'll have to get the link from them. There is a very specific. There's some things in the global configuration that has to be set up under API. There's some settings in here to make it work, but I'm happy to do that for you if you want to practice. I can't do it on all your computers, so you got to pick one, maybe two, just because It's a real pain, but at least it'll allow you to do some practicing to get comfortable. Um, so we've got less than 10 minutes to go. Any other questions? So in addition, so there's a lot of functionality. I'll just tell you real quick. You can right click if you want level 2 quotes for Apple, depending on which your broker is. I can get level 2 quotes, which you have to, if you have TD Ameritrade, you do have to subscribe to it. It is free, but you have to log into the TD Ameritrade website, and then under your profile, there's subscriptions. Make sure that you sign up for both the news and the level 2 because it's free. You can also get depth of market. Shows you the depth. I don't ever use any of this. If you trade options, you can get option chains, and you can actually trade the options through the charts or through here. There's a lot of functionality in the right click feature. Research, you can get news, raw data, that's through Thinkorswim. That's the raw quote data. I don't follow that stuff. Wayne says, can you explain bracket one more time? Yeah, let's actually do a bracket order on this trade on Apple. So a bracket basically wraps the trade, okay? So it puts a stop loss on one side, above if you're short, below if you're long, and then it puts a limit on the other side. Again, if you're short, the limit's below. If you're long, the limit's above. So in this instance where we've got a short on Apple, if I click bracket, and then obviously to get out of a short, we have to buy, right? Buy to cover. So if I move it down, this capsule down, okay, I'm running my mouse. You'll notice it'll tell me how much my gain or loss is. So if I set it right, let's say down here, my gain is going to be 6 1/4. If I like that, if I want to make 625, then I can hold down the mouse, left mouse button, then I can move up the other side to set my stop loss, and it tells me how much my loss is going to be if it hits. So if I set my loss right here, I'm going to lose 155, okay? Lose 155 to make 6 1/4. Okay, so let's try that. So I have to hit the check button, and now that commits the order. So I should be able to see that bracket order now on my Interactive Brokers platform, and you'll see right here. It shows 196.09 stop and a limit at 195.31. So if the price gets to that level, one or the other, it's going to hit it and take it out and then cancel the other order. So you may hear the term OCO or OCA. One cancels other or one cancels another. That's the same as a bracket order. All right. Thomas, this is being recorded, and I will, at the end of the session, show you where it will be made available. Yes, thank you. So actually, look what's happening. Apple's coming down pretty hard right now. So I'm going to move this limit up just a little bit so it'll hit it. I want to see it hit it. That's two good trades on Apple, right? We're almost there. We're about 10 cents away. I could also move the stop behind it to protect profit. Oh, why does it not let me modify the order? Oh, see, it filled it. 195.45. It just filled. Filled the limit. Yeah, this is, again, Chakoti, this is a demo account I just showed you in Interactive Brokers. See, the trade closed out, $490. Bruce says, I used the bracket about 3 times today. I like it. I'm growing very fond of it because of the ability to wrap your trades and protect yourself and to lock in profit. Plus, if you have to step away from your computer for a couple minutes, sometimes you know how stock will just run down real quick and then bounce. That way you make sure you hit your limit order and lock in your profit if you happen to not be sitting in front of your computer when it comes down. We just have a couple more minutes. Any other questions? All right, so a couple other quick things I just want to share with you. This session is being recorded and is being, it will be posted to the YouTube page for Equity Alerts. So for in the beginning, I told you guys about Clear Trading Systems. I also am a partner in equity-alerts.com. That's a day trading, active trading alert service. I post, and this is where you can subscribe to Clearlines. If you're interested in Clearlines, just go to equity-alerts.com. Actually, I'll give you that straight out link for the Clearlines page. We have a Clearlines page where there's information, and then there's a subscription information down at the bottom. You can subscribe to Clearlines for only for $59 a month. Plus, there is an additional $19.99 if you do not have an account with Ally Invest. Medved charges a platform fee. And then if you don't have an integrated broker, there could be an additional fee. If you don't have an account with Ally Invest, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, or Interactive Brokers, you may have an additional $25 roughly a month data feed cost. But if you're interested in signing up, you can go to that link that I showed you. If you click right here where it says YouTube, that'll take you to the YouTube page where I post these sessions. And you'll see there's a bunch of them. There's usually a little description of what that session covers down at the bottom. I try to give somewhat of a decent description of what we talk about. And if you have other specific questions for me, if you want to talk, you can email me, Kipp@equity-alerts.com. You want to text me or call me, and if you have questions about getting started, 972-841-8886. A couple things I just want to cover before we finish up. I do provide my new users, and Chakoti can attest to this because I've given him a lot of help. I do provide ongoing training and support to my customers. New customers of Clearlines, I will assist you with getting set up. I will remote into your computer if you would like me to and help you set up the platform. I will help build a layout for you that you find that will be one that you would like to use. And I will provide some one-on-one training on the platform as well. We'll customize it. I give you initially at least an hour. I provide ongoing support and training. So if you have any problems you need help with, you can contact me by phone or by email. You can text me. And texting is usually the quickest to get a response. I'll text you right back and let you know when I'll get back to you by phone. I usually do my support in the afternoons or in the evenings, depending on what is needed. And again, I do these twice weekly training sessions for my new users and for those interested in the platform. So you are welcome to view this twice weekly. Join me, and if you have specific questions about setting things up, I can show you during this webinar. Or if you need a little one-on-one, I can do a private webinar for you as well. So my goal is to get my customers comfortable with the platform. There is a little more little bit more of a learning curve compared to WiseTrade, mainly because the Medved platform has so much more to offer, and it functions a little bit differently. It is a more advanced platform. But I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Chakotay. And thank you all. Thanks, Greg. If you have any questions, please email me. And have a great evening. I'll see some of you tomorrow morning in the webinar. And the rest of you, hopefully see you next week on Tuesday. And that's it. I'm signing out. Bye-bye.